there is a church shooting. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. Why do y'all decide that y'all want to shoot up the church? Why the church? Of all places, I see you, Molly, girl. Oh, I see you, Molly, looking great. Why y'all want to shoot up the church? So I'm going to bring y'all up to speed on the latest news with regard to these church shootings. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's rock, y'all. We don't got no update on the
Welcome back.
There
It's 10:29 a.m. Eastern Time, and we are getting very disturbing reports of a shooting at a Minneapolis Catholic church. Governor Tim Walz saying that a shooter was inside the church in Minneapolis, and we are working to get some more information. Thankfully, Bill Maluzhin is here, and he's got some great sources, as you all know, and let's just get a little description of what we know. This is very, very early stages. And as we bring you this news.
Yeah, so this all happened apparently at Annunciation Church in the city of Minneapolis. I'm hearing from multiple law enforcement sources, including Minneapolis law enforcement sources and federal, that this does sound to be significant and serious. They're being told that there are, quote, multiple casualties here. We don't want to talk about any numbers yet or any possible fatalities, but we are told this does sound to be very significant, very serious, with multiple casualties reported. Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, tweeting out that this was a, quote, horrific act of violence. As we wait for details on what happened here, the ATF posted on X that they are responding to reports of a, quote, active shooter. The FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino tweeting out that the FBI is en route to the scene as well. Local media putting reports out as well. No status, no update yet on a possible shooter, if this is still active, if that potential shooter is down or still a threat. Still waiting on those details. But Dana, as we know with these mass shootings, a lot of information comes out quickly. Sometimes it's wrong, sometimes it's erroneous. But based off this law enforcement response and some of the tweets we're seeing from public officials, including the Minneapolis mayor and Governor Tim Walz, it does sound like something, unfortunately, very horrible and significant has happened at this church in Minneapolis.
And the city of Minneapolis is reporting there's no active threat to the community at this time. And it makes me wonder about the shot that we had just beforehand of the police that were standing outside of a door. Maybe that is the fact that maybe the shooter is contained. I shouldn't say a fact. That is what the city of...
So that was the initial reports. I always like to give y'all kind of sort of a timeline of what's going on and what's happening. So that was the initial reports. And the most recent reports is they actually detailed and documented exactly who was hurt, how they were hurt, who died, and so on and so forth. So I'm literally just watching this for the first time, just like you guys, and I'm going to bring y'all up to speed on what's going on.
Paul and Bill, let's go to CB Cotton. She is live with more. It's in early stages of this story, CB, but what can you tell us?
Hey, Bill. Hey, Dana. Good morning. Such sad news that we're learning. So our local Fox affiliate report said the Annunciation Church in South Minneapolis, where this is all unfolding, has a school for students who are in kindergarten through 8th grade. And, you know, the Fox affiliate says that school indeed started on Monday, which makes this really, really heartbreaking. The Fox affiliate also reports that Mass is on Wednesdays at 8:15 local time there, and students were reportedly in Mass at the time of this shooting. I can also tell you that a reunification zone has already been set up for families of children at the school, and right now first responders are on scene, are urging families to go to that reunification zone if they have questions. Obviously, you have a lot of parents who are probably there on scene, very worried, anxiously awaiting news on their children. And I want to go to some really disturbing details from the Star Tribune. This is a big publication in Minneapolis who says multiple people who live in the area reported hearing a lengthy burst of gunfire. Some people told the outlet that they heard so many shots fired off, they thought work was being done on nearby homes.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I'm going to spin over into the latest reports. This is the latest reports.
We're gonna get to this news conference, which is starting now, and we are seeing the Minneapolis mayor there, Jacob Fry, right in front of the microphone. Let's listen.
There are no words that can capture the horror and the evil of this unspeakable act. children are dead. There are families that have a deceased child. You cannot put into words the gravity, the tragedy, or the absolute pain of this situation. We are a Minneapolis family. But to everybody out there, do not think of these as just somebody else's kids. Those families are suffering immense pain right now. Think of this as if it were your own. Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce that we can muster. These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have, every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country. I'm so deeply saddened, and I'm so sorry to the families that I know are suffering right now. My ask is to everyone, stand by them. Love them. These families have forever been changed, and we've all been changed with them. We need to do everything possible to support them through this time. We have a family resource center that has been set up. I'm grateful for all of the law enforcement agencies from a number of different jurisdictions, all the different departmental support that we've received. They're going to be working tirelessly. There's also a family resource center that is being set up as we speak.
So let me give y'all the actual details. I want y'all to know what happened, specifically not just from him, but based off of the most recent details. So I'm going to share my screen with you guys. This is what they know. At least two, because a lot of people are still hospitalized. 2 children were killed in a shooting in Minneapolis at a Catholic school mass to mark the first week of school, according to police. All right. The shooter is dead, law enforcement officials said. Children's ages 6 to 14 are being treated for injuries at the Minneapolis area healthcare system, in which some is in critical condition. So it doesn't mean that everybody else that is injured outside of the 2 kids that were killed already. And here's the details. The officials say the shooter fired through windows at people sitting in pews, injuring at least 17 people. So he wasn't in there. He wasn't in there with the people. He was shooting through the windows at people that were participating in mass. All right. Patients as young as 6 is being treated. Some is in critical condition. 9 of the 11 patients from the attack. 9 of the 11 patients from the attack being treated at Hennepin Healthcare. Children ranging from 6 to 11. Pediatric patients are in critical condition. 2 children killed during the shooting. They won't release anything about the shooter specifically yet. 4 patients requiring surgery. 9 of the patients were actually children and 2 was adults. At least 2 doors of the school church were apparently blocked. The assailant, who opened fire at the Catholic school, approached on one side of the church building. On that side, at least 2 doors appeared to be blocked by like a 2x4. So he blocked in the door so that nobody can get out, and he made it a firing pin. It goes on to say they have not determined whether the shooter is a former student or employee of the school. Obviously, the suspect is in his early 20s and does not have an extensive known criminal history. A 20-year-old suspect going to shoot children that are in mass. That's crazy, bro. A 20 What a day. What a day. What a week. What a week to start off the school session. Every day, every single day. Every single day. Doesn't matter if I'm out and home or if I'm downtown or whatever. Every single day. All right. I'm going to go back to the press conference. I talk to my daughter and I tell her how much I love her. And I tell her how important it is for her to be on her P's and Q's. This is one of the reasons why it was so important for me to make sure that my life insurance policy is what it's supposed to be. And I got to make sure that things are in place because it's some straight up demonic monsters out here in these streets. There is no other way to frame it. We can all say that, of course they're going to be trying to determine whether it's they had health problems or something like that, right? Or whatever. They are going to try to frame it and have those conversations. But the reality is that some of these people are just demonic, honestly. There is no way that you can frame it from any other perspective than to say that the person is completely demonic because you don't block in. Because this ain't just spirit of moment. This ain't a crime of passion. This ain't somebody pissed you off. This is a intentional act. You go and you buy a 2x4, which you probably measured to make sure that it can block in inside of the doors. You probably went multiple different days that night when nobody was there so you can test whether or not the 2x4 can block inside of the doors. You went and got whatever guns or ammunition. You knew where your vantage point was. You also understood when the kids was having mass. And then you went when the church started and then you start shooting people.
To make sure that we're there for everybody. Again, to the families that are suffering, to those that have experienced loss, I'm so deeply sorry. We're going to be with you every step of the way. We love you. This kind of act of evil should never happen, and it happens far too often. The chief will provide additional details.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Earlier today, just before 8:30 a.m., our city experienced an unthinkable tragedy. Minneapolis police officers responded to a report of a shooting at a mass that was happening at the Annunciation Roman Catholic Church on the block behind me. This worship service was marking the first week of school for children that are attending the Annunciation Catholic School. During the Mass, a gunman approached on the outside, on the side of the building, and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass. Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building. The shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. Police officers from the Minneapolis Police Department immediately responded, entered the church, and attempted to provide first aid and rescue some of the children that were hiding throughout the building, while other first responders came and EMS responded to rush victims to nearby hospitals. 2 young children ages 8 and 10, were killed where they sat in the pews. Their parents have been notified.
That's crazy.
17.
Can you imagine getting a phone call? You send your kid to one of the probably the best schools. I'm pretty sure that they paying tuition. And it's an environment that's safe for them to go to church and experience mass and have spirituality inserted into their lives while at the same time learning in a place where they can, where you feel like you probably the most safest, and you get a phone call, hey man, your kid is dead. How did my kid die? Well, it was a person that was shooting through windows inside of the church while we was having mass on the first week of school. Man, that's gotta be breaking. That will break me. Of all of the things in life, I can deal with a lot of things. That would absolutely break me. I don't know how I would be able to. I can't even imagine what it would be like to get that type of phone call. I know what it felt like to get the phone call right after I had talked to my father about an hour ago, and it was like, hey, he no longer here. Imagine you getting that phone call and your kid. I don't even know how you'll be able to hold that together. I'm heartbroken, and it ain't even my kid. I don't even know the kid, bro.
Other people were injured, 14 of them being children. 2 of those children are in critical condition. The coward who fired these shots ultimately took his own life in the rear of the church.
Can't even hold him accountable.
Our hearts are broken for the families who have lost their children, for these young lives that are now fighting to recover, and for our entire community that has been so deeply traumatized by this senseless attack. We will stand together to protect our children, our schools, and our houses of worship. This deliberate act of violence is just a sign of cruelty that is beyond comprehension. Our hearts are broken for everyone that's been affected by this tragedy. As we begin the difficult path of healing, I want the community to know this, that even in the face of such evil, the Minneapolis Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners stand with our community. We stand with these families and with this parish. We will continue to be here for you. With that, the investigation is obviously in its preliminary stages, and I will attempt to take some questions to provide further information.
So that is the latest update, the latest news. Lord be with the families. Don't let them lose faith in you because of some demonic entity. God bless everybody that's in this situation. Just be a comforter to the people that's over here, over there. Lord, just I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know what to pray. You know what I'm saying? Just you see him, let your will be done in Jesus' name, amen. It's heartbreaking. And I guess the only thing that I can really say to conclude this segment of the show or this portion of the show, junk be getting me choked up, bro. Make sure that you love the people that surround you. It doesn't matter about all of the bickering and the fighting. And I mean, I guess in a way, that's just all a form of distraction and entertainment. And I know that we have fun, but at the end of the day, we got to truly cherish the people that are here, because all of us at some point is going to be gone. But more importantly, how we go and how we live our lives is more meaningful. And you just never know. You don't know. You don't know when your end date is going to be, or when somebody determines that this is what your end date is going to be. You just don't know. Don't know. Treat them like gold. Love on your kids. Tell them you love them. Forgive your parents. Stop holding a grudge. Let that go. Let that go. You know, forgive yourself. Forgive your brother and your sister. Stop holding that against them. Lead with peace, lead with love. Even if they are the ones that's still bitter about it, you still got to hold it down. So that's all I'm saying, man. Sometimes I think that when we look at these situations, and it's unfortunate that it happened, but it got to be a learned lesson, and it got to be something that you take from it. For me personally, I take from it that I just don't have no grudges. I don't have no ill will, no feelings. Every day after I get done with my prayers, I always ask God to forgive me for the things that I may have transgressed against him about, or, anybody that I haven't made whole from maybe having a disagreement or an argument with. Show them to me so that I can make that right. It's what makes us different than animals is that we actually can do the right thing. We do have time, and we do have an opportunity to communicate our thoughts and our feelings effectively. So again, prayers up for the families, and death to all demons. Death to all demons. We got to stop playing fair with these people. We got to stop playing fair with these people. When you see them, call them out, and we're going to have to start figuring out how to address these people proactively, because we can't just keep being sitting ducks for these people. Your little son or your nephew or whatever, that nigga full of the devil, man. You know he full of the devil. You know he ain't gonna be no good, and at some point he gonna do something that ain't right. You see him. Stop praying and stop doing something. Like, we tired. We don't want to hear no more prayers from people that is about to do something negative. Nah, We are, you know what? I'm gonna just keep y'all up to date on what's going on with this situation, because we got to stop. We've been playing too fair. The Saints been praying too fair. The good people, the people that go to work every single day, they've been playing too fair. And it's always we got to be the victims, and then we got to turn the other cheek so you can slap that one too. Y'all better start arming yourselves. Go get your gun. Go get your CPL. Do it legally. Make sure that you licensed. Make sure that you abide by the laws that's in your state. Strap up. Teach your wife. Teach your kids how to use it. Where they at. Go get you the right bullets. Go to target practice. That's what we got to start doing, man. That's what we got to start doing. Start putting yourself in a position to where everybody ain't going to be a victim by the person that's doing it the wrong way. Not playing this game no more, bro. I'm not going to heaven before my time. I'm not going before my time. I'm going to be here. Keep on playing with these people. Oh, man, look at what happened to us again. Another church shooting. My opinion, the only church shootings should be the ones that's trying to commit the crimes, put them out of their misery first. You first before me. We'll talk about it afterwards. I'll talk to God and ask for forgiveness afterwards. But you was trying to kill yourself anyway. You killed yourself in the back of the church. Let me do you a favor. People is evil, bro. Junk is sickening. It's always the demonic ones. Everybody got to be terrorized because you don't feel some type of way, because you mad because she turned you down, or you mad because they wouldn't let you eat at the lunch table. Now you got a mental disorder. You ain't got no mental disorder. You's a bitch. That's what you are. That's why I hate weak people. I hate these super liberal feminine men. Always in their feelings. Always want you to make them feel good about how they...